September 15, 1944. Auschwitz-Birkenau, occupied Poland. Thousands of women are standing in the roll call square. They were not asked to be here. They were ordered. The SS wanted witnesses. What they were about to witness was not what the SS intended. Mala. She's being walked forward. Her wrists are already bound. The guards think this is over. They think she's broken. They've been wrong about her before. Mala Zimetbaum is 26 years old. She has survived 2 years inside the most lethal killing complex in human history. She has saved dozens of lives from inside a system designed to exterminate every person who looks like her. Today, the SS intends to make an example of her. They will not get the example they planned. What happens in the next 4 minutes will be talked about for 80 years. Not because Mala escapes. She doesn't. But because of what she does instead, and what she says to the women watching. Before we go further, if stories like this are why you're here, consider what it means that most people will never hear her name. That's what this channel exists to change. Think about who in your life should know Mala Zimetbaum existed. To understand September 15, 1944, you have to go back 26 years. January 26, 1918. Brzesko, southern Poland. Malka Zimetbaum, Mala, is born the youngest of 5 children into a Jewish family that speaks German at home. A detail that will, years later, become both her most powerful weapon and the thing that makes her indispensable to a machine that wants her dead. When Mala is 10, the family moves to Antwerp, Belgium. Her father is blind. They are poor. Mala is brilliant. 6 languages. She speaks 6 languages by the time she's in her early 20s. Flemish, French, German, English, Yiddish, Polish. Not learned at a university, she dropped out of school to work as a dressmaker and support her family. She learned because she couldn't stop learning. That linguistic ability is not a footnote. It is the thing that keeps her alive long enough to matter. And later, the thing the camp administration cannot afford to lose, right up until they decide they can. May 10, 1940. Nazi Germany invades Belgium. The country collapses in 6 weeks. King Leopold surrenders. The government flees. For the estimated 70,000 Jews living in Belgium, many of them refugees already once displaced by Nazi persecution, the occupation is, as historians would later describe it, a death sentence written in slow ink. The laws come fast. Movement restricted. Yellow stars mandatory. Businesses seized. Labor gangs. And then, deportations. Between 1942 and 1944, nearly 25,000 Jews are deported from Belgium to Auschwitz. Fewer than 2,000 ever come home. Mala had a way out. She worked for an American company as a language assistant. When the Nazis shut it down, she was offered emigration to the United States. She turned it down. She would not leave her parents behind. That decision cost her everything. It also made her immortal. July 22, 1942. Antwerp Central Station. Mala is arrested during a raid. She had just returned from Brussels, where she had been trying to find a hiding place for her family. She is taken first to Fort Breendonk, a transit camp, and then to the SS collection center in Mechelen. Even there, imprisoned, stripped of her freedom, she resists. She is assigned to register incoming prisoners and immediately uses the position to remove children's names from deportation lists. She smuggles messages and jewelry to the outside. She shields as many as she can reach. This is who Mala is before Auschwitz. Resistance is not something the camp teaches her. She arrives already knowing how. September 15, 1942. Mala Zimetbaum is loaded onto a train to Auschwitz. Of the 1,048 Jews aboard that transport, only 230 men and 101 women survive the initial selection. The rest are directed left, toward facilities they are told are showers. They are instructed to undress, to hang their clothes on numbered hooks, to remember the numbers. Then the doors seal shut. The screaming was audible through the walls. That is direct testimony from SS Dr. Johann Kramer, given at Nuremberg. He oversaw the process. He said they fought until the very end. 20 minutes. That was the average. Mala is waved to the right. She survives the selection. And within weeks, the administration realizes she is too useful to put in a striped uniform and assigned to a labor detail. Mala is appointed Läuferin, camp runner, and official translator. The privileges attached to the role are extraordinary by Auschwitz standards. She keeps her hair. She wears civilian clothes. She can move freely between blocks. She lives among doctors and other high-status prisoners. Every single privilege she redirects toward others. Survivors testified about her in nearly identical language. Generous, fearless, radiant, tireless. She brought food to women on the edge of starvation. She warned the sick before selection so they could appear strong enough to survive. She placed the names of the already dead onto selection lists to keep the living off them. She helped separated family members find each other across different blocks. She also sent a coded postcard to her sister Janka in Antwerp. It mentioned that everyone was with Itush, their sister-in-law who had died in 1940. Janka understood immediately. The family was gone. For 2 years, Mala operates at the intersection of survival and service, protecting others from inside the system that is trying to destroy them both. Then, in late 1943, something shifts. Not a decision. An encounter. His name is Edward Galiński. Everyone calls him Edek. He is a young Polish Catholic prisoner, arrested at 17, deported on the very first transport of Polish prisoners to Auschwitz, June 14, 1940. He has survived 4 years in the camp. He and Mala fall in love. Quietly. In stolen moments. In a place designed to make every human connection impossible. Love in Auschwitz was not sentimental. It was radical. It was, in its own way, a declaration of war against everything the camp was built to enforce. By early 1944, Edek has a plan. He and another prisoner had been preparing an escape disguised as SS guards, uniforms quietly supplied by a sympathetic supervisor named Lubush. Edek refuses to go without Mala. Mala has her own reasons for escaping. She is carrying stolen deportation lists she intends to deliver to the Allies as documentation of what is happening inside. She is not running to survive. She is running to report. June 24, 1944. They walk out of Auschwitz. Edek, dressed as an SS guard. Mala, in a male prisoner's uniform over civilian clothes, carrying a porcelain washbasin on her shoulders to obscure her face. A blank exit pass, stolen from the guard room. They walk past the gate. And they keep walking. For 2 weeks, they move through the mountains toward Slovakia. For 2 weeks, Auschwitz does not have them. That is not nothing. That is everything. July 6, 1944. 12 days after the escape. Mala enters a small village store to buy bread. Someone grows suspicious. The police are called. She is arrested. Edek is watching from the hills. He could have run. He turns himself in. He had promised they would not be separated. They are returned to Auschwitz-Birkenau and thrown into Block 11, the punishment barracks. The Gestapo interrogates Edek for weeks. Who supplied the uniforms? Who provided the pass? He reveals nothing. Every evening after roll call, he sings an Italian song from his cell. A signal. To Mala, in her own cell. I am still here. This is the part that makes it impossible to stop thinking about what they were. By late August, the SS has made a decision. The escape cannot go unanswered publicly. An example will be made of both of them. A public execution is scheduled, timed to maximum prisoner attendance, designed to extinguish whatever spark they have lit inside the camp. The Nazis miscalculate what Mala will do with the moment they give her. September 15, 1944. 2 years to the day since Mala arrived at Auschwitz. Thousands of women are assembled in the square. Edek is brought to the gallows in the men's camp simultaneously. Before the verdict is even read aloud, he steps forward into the noose himself, refusing to allow the SS to control even the final moment. Guards drag him back to the platform. He stands straight and shouts, "Long live Poland!" Prisoners remove their caps in unison. In silence. In the women's camp, Mala has been hiding a razor blade. As she is brought forward, she draws it and cuts the artery in her wrist. A guard lunges for the blade. Mala slaps him across the face, hard, with her bleeding hand. She turns to the assembled SS and says, "You will all dearly pay for your deeds." Then she turns to the prisoners. Thousands of them. Watching. Terrified. Heartbroken. With blood running from her wrist, she calls out, "I was outside. The end of the war is near. Be strong." The guards knock her to the ground. They tape her mouth shut. What happens next is disputed. Eyewitness accounts conflict, and the SS would not have permitted clean documentation of her final moments. Some survivors say she died on the cart being wheeled to the crematorium. Some say a guard shot her at the entrance out of something resembling mercy. Some say she had concealed poison. Some say she was placed into the furnace alive. The Sonderkommando prisoners, the Jewish men forced to operate the crematoria, knew she was coming. They had been told in advance. They made preparations. They prayed. They burned her remains with as much dignity as they could offer in a place designed to deny it. Mala Zimetbaum never received a grave. She did not need one. She was never forgotten. After the war, 39 Belgian women who had been imprisoned at Auschwitz formally testified that Mala had saved their lives. Dozens more added their accounts over the following decades. A research grant was established in Mala's name at Yad Vashem. In 2017, she was awarded recognition as a Jew who rescued Jews during the Holocaust by the B'nai B'rith World Center. A memorial plaque marks the Antwerp building where she once lived. In September 2023, 79 years after her death, a monument was finally erected at the Jewish cemetery in Bezesko, her birthplace. She had no grave. Now there is something to mark where she came from. She was 26 years old. She spoke 6 languages. She walked out of the most lethal camp in history and used her 2 weeks of freedom not to hide, but to carry evidence to the world. When the Nazis gave her a stage, she used it to tell the people watching that the war was almost over. That they should hold on. She was right. They did. Some of them survived because of it. Mala Zimetbaum did not survive the Holocaust. But because of her, others did. And because of them, this story exists.